Hi everyone, it's Dr. Prashant here. I am a pediatric surgeon practicing here in Pune. And along with my surgical practice, I also work as a health and wellness coach since last almost 8 years. And I run my own online platform, which is called as the Online Obesity Clinic. We help doctors for weight loss, diabetes reversal, thyroid reversal. Regarding weight loss, we give guaranteed results. If you don't get the results, you don't pay, all right? And this is a very important topic that we are going to discuss today. Okay, last time we had a discussion about does calorie deficit really work? And we discussed that it doesn't work, all right, because we go into starvation mode and we are just worried about calories. We are not worried about actually what we are eating. And because of that, there is something called as metabolic set point, which is there at the level of the hypothalamus. Your metabolic rate drops down, and that is the reason that you are more hungry, and then you want to eat more. So once you leave what you're following, then you actually land up gaining weight also. So if you have not seen that video, I would highly recommend you watch that video, okay? Because until unless you watch that video, you will not understand that why calorie deficit doesn't work, okay? I have put the link for that video in this description, and please go through it if you have not gone through it, okay? Before you watch this video, I am sure you should watch that video first so that you have the background, okay? So if calorie deficit doesn't work, then what works? That's the question, all right? And the answer is something called as calorie restriction, all right? Now there is a huge difference between calorie deficit and calorie restriction. दोनों में जमीन आसमान का अंतर है, ओके? सो कैलोरी डेफिसिट जो है, ठीक है, वो एक अलग चीज है जिसमें हम लोग सिर्फ कैलोरीज के बारे में हम लोग सोचते रहते हैं। हम लोग क्या खा रहे हैं उसके बारे में हम लोग ज्यादा नहीं सोच रहे हैं। हम लोग सिर्फ कैलोरीज को काउंट कर रहे हैं और एक डेफिसिट मेंटेन कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? सो हम लोग ने पिज्जा खाया, बर्गर खाया, बिस्किट्स खाया, चॉकलेट्स खाया, क्या खाया, इसे कोई मतलब नहीं है। लेकिन ठीक है, अगर हम लोग डेफिसिट मेंटेन रखते हैं, देन वील कीप लूजिंग द वेट। दैट इज अ फंडामेंटल ऑफ कैलोरी डेफिसिट। टिपिकली इसमें 2-2 घंटे पे खाने के लिए बोलते हैं। a lot of dietitians also do that, okay? And very difficult to follow also, and a lot of times not sustainable, okay? So in this video we are going to talk about what is calorie restriction. So before we talk about calorie restriction, I just want to highlight a certain points, okay? It is not about the calories. Calories पूरी तरह से useless है ऐसा नहीं है. It is not about the calories actually. It is where the calories are coming from, okay? कहाँ से आ रहे हैं ये calories? और ये कैलोरीज हमारे बॉडी में करते क्या है, ओके? और इसके बारे में हमने प्रीवियस वीडियो में डिस्कशन भी किया था कि 100 कैलोरीज ऑफ ऑलिव ऑयल है और 100 कैलोरीज ऑफ अगर शुगर है, तो वो दोनों का मेटाबॉलिक इम्पैक्ट जो है वो हमारे बॉडी में एक समान होगा का? एब्सोल्युटली नॉट, ठीक है? सो द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ 100 कैलोरीज ऑफ ऑलिव ऑयल एंड 100 कैलोरीज ऑफ शुगर इज going to be totally different, okay? So it is what the calorie does to our body that is more important. And we need to understand this, that obesity is a hormonal problem, period. All right. We have to fix our hormones. Until unless we fix our hormones, it is not going to work. All right. So we might be fighting with the calories and all that, but if you don't fix the hormones, then we are going to face a lot of problems regarding weight loss or diabetes or thyroid or PCOS, whatever it is. All right. Okay. So where is this calorie coming from? That is very important. And what is the impact of these calories on our body? That's also very important. Okay, so let's talk about it. So where is this calorie coming from? It is coming from carbs, fiber, proteins, fats. What does it do in our body? Now, carbs are going to stimulate the insulin. The fiber does not stimulate the insulin. Proteins stimulate insulin, okay, especially if it is there in more quantity, then it is going to stimulate more insulin. And it will also going to stimulate satiety hormones like leptin, all right? And fats, okay, they stimulate only satiety hormones. They don't stimulate insulin. So fiber and fats, these are the two things which will not stimulate insulin, okay? And this is a very important point for us to understand, because this is what is very important in weight loss programs, okay? And if you miss this point, then, you might struggle with weight loss, all right? This is extremely important, okay? So fiber, fats, and proteins, these are the three important components that we should focus on, all right? All these three are very, very important, okay? We should understand that obesity is a hormonal problem, and this insulin hormone leads to weight gain because, all right, insulin will actually help glucose to be metabolized, okay? ग्लूकोज को सेल्स के अंदर पुश करेगा, वो एनर्जी के लिए यूज होगा, your body needs energy on a constant basis, yes, this glucose is going to be useful. But if there is excess glucose, especially when we are eating some simple carbohydrates, then it is going to shoot up our sugar levels. जितना ज्यादा शूट अप होगा हमारा इंसुलिन लेवल्स, उतना ज्यादा हमारा इंसुलिन भी स्पाइक होने वाला है. शुगर जितना स्पाइक होगा उतना ही इंसुलिन भी स्पाइक होगा. अंडरस्टूड. नाउ वॉट एवर द इंसुलिन लेवल्स are there in our body, that is going to help glucose to be metabolized as a source of energy. But when it goes into the cells, it is also going to help for fat deposition as well. So इंसुलिन इज अ लाइपोजेनिक हार्मोन. ओके, ये फैट्स को स्टोर भी करता है. सो हमारे बॉडी में अगर एक्सेसिव ग्लूकोज अगर हो गया तो एक्सेस ग्लूकोज इज स्टोर्ड एट फैट्स, बिकॉज फ्यूचर में इसका यूज हो सकता है एज एनर्जी, इसीलिए ये स्टोर किया जाता है एज फैट्स. ऑलराइट, एंड दैट इज द एक्शन ऑफ insulin. So insulin can actually cause weight gain, whereas if you look at the satiety hormones, they will actually prevent us from overeating. क्योंकि अगर मुझे सेटिस्फैक्शन है कि हाँ मेरा पेट फुल हो गया है, देन विल आई ईट. अगर मेरे पास समोसे पड़े हुए हैं, अगर मेरे पास पिज्जा भी पड़ा हुआ है, मे बी आई विल हैव 1 or 2 bite extra. Probably once I feel full, I'm not going to eat. All right, okay. This effect is not consciously exerted by us, but this effect कि मेरा पेट भर गया और मुझे नहीं खा सकता हूँ मैं आगे, this is a hormonal effect, particularly leptin. Understood? And once you have a high level of satiety hormones, then you will see weight loss. All right. So high level of satiety hormones कहाँ से आने वाले? Okay, you are going to get it from fiber, you are going to get it from fats, and yes, you are also going to get it from proteins. You get the point? All right. So this is a very important point to understand. Okay, and this formula is going to be used in calorie restriction. Okay, and we are going to talk about it. So what is the fundamental? What we have to do? We do not have to stimulate insulin too much, because with every stimulation of insulin, we are going to deposit fat. All right. So इसका stimulation जो है हमको जितना कम हो सकता है उतना कम stimulate करना है. Okay, and most of the people, what has happened is something called as insulin resistance. Insulin resistance मतलब ऐसी चीज हो गई कि हमने इंसुलिन को इतना स्टिमुलेट कर दिया है कि that we have stimulated the insulin so much, now the cells have become unresponsive to insulin, because वो रिसेप्टर्स में ही मॉडिफिकेशन हो गया है, फैट डिपॉजिट होके वो रिसेप्टर ही मॉडिफाई हो गया है. नाउ it cannot recognize the insulin at all. That is why although the insulin levels are high, still the action of insulin which was supposed to take place is not happening. All right, this is called as insulin resistance. That is why insulin भी ज्यादा है लेकिन sugar levels भी ज्यादा है. ठीक है, that is what is happening. Okay, that is called as insulin resistance. So our goal is to reduce this insulin resistance, and we have to train our body to use fats as a preferential source of energy. Okay, how do we do that? That we'll talk about. Okay, and there comes the fundamental of something called as calorie restriction. Okay, this is extremely important thing that we have to understand. अगर कैलोरी डेफिसिट काम नहीं कर रहा है तो is it so that कि calories are useless? No, we have to use them in the right way. Where are the calories coming from and what is the effect on our body? That is very very important. Okay, तो कहाँ से आ रहा है ये हमको बहुत अच्छी तरह से ध्यान में रखना है. And here comes the fundamental. Okay, so see what we have to, as I told you, we have to focus more on fats, proteins, fiber. These are the 3 things which are very, very important. All right. Okay. Now, if you have more fats, proteins, and fiber in your diet, and I'm talking about healthy, okay, healthy fats, healthy proteins, and healthy fiber, okay, if you have it in your diet, you are going to do good. What is calorie restriction? All right. So calorie restriction में obviously we are going to restrict the calories. हम लोग 2000, 3000, 4000 कैलोरीज का डाइट नहीं खा रहे हैं. ऑलराइट, इनफैक्ट वी आर नॉट काउंटिंग कैलोरीज एट ऑल. ऑलराइट, what we are seeing is what are the signals which are coming from our stomach. That is very important. What is the hormonal effect on our body? That is what we are going to do. So the most important thing that we have to understand is that we will come on something called as 3 to 4 meal pattern. All right, 3 to 4 meal pattern, because अगर हम लोग 3 बार ही खा रहे हैं तो हम लोग ने इंसुलिन को 3 बार ही स्टिमुलेट किया है. अंडरस्टूड, 3 ही बार हम लोग ने स्टिमुलेट किया है. दूसरी चीज, हमको इंसुलिन को बहुत ज्यादा स्टिमुलेट नहीं करना है. दैट कैन हैपन इफ वी हैव गुड अमाउंट ऑफ प्रोटीन्स, फैट्स एंड फाइबर. ऑलराइट, इन आवर डाइट. तो कार्ब्स रहने ही वाले हैं हमारे डाइट में, थोड़ा बहुत कार्ब्स रहने ही वाला है, बट वी हैव टू कीप आवर कार्ब्स as low as possible. We have to have moderate proteins, we have to have moderate intake of fats, and we have to have good amount of fiber. All right. So if we have good amount of fiber, fats, proteins, what it is going to do to our body? So let's say if you had a meal, let's say if you have lunch or dinner or whatever it is, then what happens with this proteins, fats, and fiber is that you are going to feel full for a long period of time because your hormone leptin, the satiety hormones, they are getting secreted. Okay. And these hormones doesn't allow you to eat food for a prolonged period of time. और आपने ये नोटिस किया रहेगा, अगर आपने हाई प्रोटीन कुछ खाया रहेगा, आपने जिसमें फैट्स भी है, अच्छे हेल्दी फैट्स है, जैसे कि फिश है, ठीक है, आपने शिया सीड, वेजिटेरियंस अगर है तो उसमें शिया सीड्स है, फ्लैक्स सीड्स है, घी वगैरह अगर आपने यूज किया रहेगा, ठीक है, तो ऐसे फैटी फूड्स अगर हम आपने खाए रहेंगे या फिर प्रोटीन रिच फूड्स, और आपने सैलेड्स भी अच्छी तरह से लिया रहेगा, तो आपने एक चीज ऑब्जर्व किया रहेगा दैट आपको भूख जल्दी नहीं लग रही है। क्यों भूख नहीं लग रही है? बिकॉज योर हॉर्मोन्स, सटाइटी हॉर्मोन्स are on a higher side. They are still giving the signal that yes, you are full, you don't need to eat. Understood? All right. So this is a very important thing to understand. So ज्यादा देर के लिए हम लोग अगर फुल रहने वाले हैं तो ऑब्वियसली हमारे नंबर ऑफ मील्स कम हो जाएंगे। हम लोग पर्पसफुली नंबर ऑफ मील्स कम नहीं कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पर जबरदस्ती हम लोग नहीं कर रहे। वी आर नॉट एक्टिंग बाय फोर्स हियर, वी आर reducing the number of meals because we are not hungry. So this concept is different from suppressing hunger. हम लोग hungry नहीं है, and that is the reason that some people will go to a 3 meal pattern, some people will go to a 2 meal pattern, and some people will actually go to a 1 meal pattern, and some might be able to fast for 2 days and 3 days as well. Understood? Without feeling hungry. Understood. Okay. Because their hormone levels are on a higher side, their leptin, okay, is on a higher side, and ghrelin is suppressed, which is hunger hormone, that is suppressed. And body has learned now to use fats as a preferential source of energy, because आपने कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स अगर खाए नहीं है और आपकी बॉडी को अगर एनर्जी चाहिए तो कहां से आ रही है फिर एनर्जी? All right. So there is a lot of fat which is stored in our body, especially in liver, especially in around our belly fat, especially in our subcutaneous fat, adipose tissue. तो ये सब जगह पे एनर्जी स्टोर की हुई है। सो अगर हम लोग नंबर ऑफ मील्स कम ले रहे हैं और बॉडी को अगर एनर्जी चाहिए और ग्लूकोज हम लोग नहीं दे रहे, कार्ब्स हमने रेस्ट्रिक्ट करके रखा है, तो एनर्जी कहाँ से आ रही है? एनर्जी इज कमिंग फ्रॉम फैट्स। Understood? That is how you will find that the number of people, number of meals अगर हमारे कम हो जाते हैं, our metabolism gets fixed. Actually, the metabolism improves. ऐसा नहीं कि मेटाबॉलिज्म कम हो गया है, समझ में आ गया? सो अगर हमारे डाइट में कार्ब्स ज्यादा है, स्पेशली सिंपल कार्ब्स, ठीक है, हम लोग सिर्फ कैलोरीज काउंट कर रहे हैं और हम लोग प्रोटीन्स, फैट्स, फाइबर पे फोकस नहीं है हमारा, ठीक है, हम लोग सिर्फ कैलोरी डेफिसिट मेंटेन कर रहे हैं, एंड वी आर हंग्री ऑल द, वी आर गोइंग टू बी हंग्री ऑल द टाइम, बिकॉज हम लोग ने अगर सिंपल कार्ब्स खाए हुए हैं तो दे विल शूट अप द इंसुलिन लेवल्स, ग्लूकोज लेवल्स जैसे ही ड्रॉप हो जाएगा, जैसे शूट होता है ग्लूकोज लेवल्स, वैसे ड्रॉप भी सडनली हो जाएगा, और जैसे ड्रॉप हो जाएगा यू आर गोइंग टू बिकम हंग्री इमीडिएटली। Understood? You are going to become hungry immediately. You want more food again. Whereas what is happening here is that the rise in sugar levels is very slow. Okay, because the glycemic index is low, especially because you have proteins, fats, and fiber. Okay, then your glycemic index is going to be slow. So sugars are going to be released for a prolonged period of time. It's like a sustained release thing. Okay, and that is why you are not going to feel hungry immediately. एटलीस्ट 4-5 घंटे का तो इंटरवल चला ही जाएगा, एंड देन यू आर गोइंग टू टेक द नेक्स्ट मील, देन यू आर गोइंग टू टेक द नेक्स्ट मील। सो अगर आप 3 to 4 मील्स ले रहे हैं दिन में, ऑब्वियसली द अमाउंट ऑफ कैलोरीज दैट यू आर गोइंग टू टेक इज गोइंग टू लेस, इट इज गोइंग टू बी लेस। इफ यू आर गोइंग टू टेक 2 मील्स तो कैलोरीज ऑटोमेटिकली कम होने ही वाला है। बट आर वी वर्किंग ऑन कैलोरी डेफिसिट? नो, इट इज कॉल्ड एज अ कैलोरी रेस्ट्रिक्शन। तो ऑटोमेटिकली हमारे कैलोरीज restrict हो रहे हैं, okay, in the right way, by choosing the right kind of foods, by choosing the right kind of exercise also to support it, by also managing stress, by also managing sleep and other pillars, and yes, nutrient deficiencies rectify करने के लिए हम लोग ने supplements भी use किए, ठीक है। तो ये सब चीजें जब एक साथ काम करती है and we are working on calorie restriction, that is the time that we start losing weight. All right. So the whole fundamental of this talk was that there is no point in working on calorie deficit, okay, especially when we are just counting calories after calories and not focusing on actually what we are eating. It doesn't make sense. All right. So the whole fundamental is you should understand where is the calorie coming from and what it does in our body. Once you understand that, you understand the importance of proteins, fats, and fiber, all right, and complex carbohydrates. And you start giving importance to these four components and you include them in your diet. Okay. And you will start seeing the results for sure. All right. So I hope this helps. There's a lot of depth actually to this topic, but I hope I tried to explain it so that you would understand. All right. And, stay tuned for the further videos also. And if you have not watched my video on calorie deficit, whether it really works or not, do watch that video. The link for that is there in the description. And I hope this video helps you. Okay. And stay tuned for further videos. Thank you very much.